with Jesus Sony, back with a whole new part of How to Drum Part 7. And I did that drum roll to celebrate you guys for getting through the first section already. And each solo after each solo would usually give out different section. Each section would come with new things, do a lot of review things, put them together to make things more challenging. And at the very first part, we will not be learning any new things, but I'm looking at the next thing in our book right now, and you will be learning something new in the next part, but note-wise. But for me, what I would do after every section is teach you guys a warm-up practice to before every video to warm up your hands, because if they get harder, things get faster, and wrists and all that. It's just better if you practice them, if you play them before to warm up your hands, so you're not likely not to mess up. I dedicated these drumsticks to the series, to the whole series, and they're the Vic Firth Rock and Roll Rock Maple American Custom SD1 General. I think they're pretty good for some snare stuff. So what we're learning here today is pretty simple. Before we learn the first exercise, which is 8, 8, 16, I gotta teach you about downbeats and upbeats, because I forgot to teach you that on part 1 when we play, and it's kind of vital. So what downbeats and upbeats are is downbeats is 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, like in normal 4/4. Upbeats is like the between ones, like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, so it's the ands, or 16 notes later on, they're the E's, 1E, 2E, 3E, 4E, the ands, 1E and 2E and the the 1E and 2E and so that's the upbeats, but 16 notes you don't have to worry about for later part of the time. And so I'm teaching you downbeats because we're about to learn 8, 8, 16, and there's going to be a downbeat release. So it's simple. It's right hand 8, left hand 8, right hand 16, left hand 8, right hand 8, left hand 16, right hand release. You might think I'm talking gibberish. That's just 8 8th notes on the right hand, 8 8th notes left hand, 16 8th notes right hand, 8 8th notes left hand, 8 8th notes right hand, 16 8th notes left hand, 8 8th notes, and then a downbeat release. Sorry, not 8 8th notes at the end. So this whole exercise goes like. I messed up a bit in there. You could spot it once you do that, if you want to, but just work on that. And then later on, once we learn more about dynamics and crescendos and decrescendos and more about that, we will be getting into other variants of 8, 8, 16 for like so. But you get the point of those. I probably should have counted because I'm a teacher. Ignore that whole thing. Just know 8, 8, 16. You don't need to know the other twos just yet because I'll be teaching those on a later section or segment. So in this section we will be learning lesson 4, lesson 5, and lesson 6, and then we'll be going on to solo 2, and then from there, I don't know what I'll be teaching you for that section, but I will think of something. And so what's next on our agenda is eighth note rests, which, if you think about it, they're a lot like quarter note rests in a way, but for eighth notes. So instead of quarter notes rest where you have a whole quarter worth of silence, you get an eighth rest of silence. So it goes 1 and 2 and. So it goes 1 and 2. If the eighth note is on, so it goes 1 and 2, right? And what I just played is that bar, 1 and 2, 3 and 3, 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 1 and 2, 3 and 4. So you could just do work on that guy for stuff now, and then that's what we're gonna be learning in the next part. So why not? So why am I out of breath? But congratulations for getting to section 2. Later on, like in section 4 or 5, you start learning the drum roll yourself. And then flams. And then triple random and cues much later on. You get the point. I'm trying not to bore you right now. Just showing you all these rudiments we'll get into much later on. Because we only had like 1 or 2 really review videos. But like once we get into like sections 4 and 5, we're gonna have to have a lot more, because there's 40 total rudiments that you're gonna want to know, and there's like 6 key rudiments to get you to have the 40. Gets to 40, which is paradiddles, flams, drags, triplets, and all those things. So we will get to those much later when they come up on the page. And we're going to learn about triplet grids, which is something I just learned, and it's very confusing, so I won't teach you to like the 9th solo. So count your guys as lucky. So this is Boy Uncle J7 here signing off. Goodbye.